Hey, how you doing today? I wanted to talk to you about a different topic today that I haven't really talked about in the past. The topic is your mindset and how it can affect um, your life. So, talk to you a little bit about that. But I got the idea about this particular podcast from watching another podcast from Joel Osteen earlier this morning about healing. Um, his whole podcast was about, you know, trusting God and believing in God to the point that if you had some really bad disease or something like cancer or chronic pain or something that just wouldn't go away, or some debilitating illness that you were trying to fight, um, that you needed to believe in God, that He could take this away for you. And you needed to have the mindset that you could pray to God and ask Him to take this away for you. But you only need to ask Him one time. You only need to pray to Him every single day for the same thing. He said, once you pray for it once, then you need to start changing your mindset to say, I don't have cancer anymore. Cancer is not allowed in my body anymore. Things like that. And that amplifies the power of God in healing you, because you have to be ready to be healed mentally, and be prepared for it. Otherwise, it may not happen. So that's why it's important to have the right mindset, for anything. So I thought about that and I thought, all right, well, mindset, I'm in business, um, I'm in real estate. So I want to think about mindset and how that could impact how my role goes in the industry and how having the right mindset will help affect productivity and overall sales volume. And, you know, you got to have the right mindset in terms of being successful and thinking, I am going to be successful. I will be successful. Um, not necessarily I want to hit X number of, volume or X number of units, but it's about just being overall successful in your passions within the industry. But more importantly than that is, I think, when you put, God into it as well, then you're looking at taking the mindset that you have, the positive mindset, and saying, all right, now I have my mindset in place that I want to be successful, and then I'm going to be doing all these different things to be successful and be, a top producer or whatever you want to be. And, you know, you're visualizing too that, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that taste like? Um, how I be thinking, all that. And then, you take that, because this is what these success coaches teach, the same stuff. They teach to be successful, you got to have a right mindset and, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not saying anything different than anything in all the books I've read from all the different real estate coaches out there, the guys that I've seen in Las Vegas. I've been out there for probably 5 or 6 different times for going to real estate conferences and seeing these guys speak. And it's all of them. They all have their books and they all have their signings that they do and take pictures with me, and I'm the best. And they all have their systems, and for a low fee of $49 a month, I'll do your mailings for you, and I'll give you a database for $100 a month that you can use, and all this stuff that they come up with, ways to make money off their systems and programs, and all this stuff to rip off agents, because agents, honestly, when you got God, you don't need any of that stuff. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it to everybody too. Um, because I am doing it. Now I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have a success coach. Well, I kind of do have a success coach, but that's God. But I don't have a coach that I'm using. I don't have, any system that I purchased. I actually don't even have a CRM right now in my managing my database. Believe it or not, I have all my clients in my phone and an Excel spreadsheet, simple sheet that I kept from a while ago from doing one of the parties that we did. And also, believe it or not, my website's gone too. So I had a website, but they discontinued it. The company I was with, and instead of going and looking for another website carrier to pay all this money to have a website that people honestly don't give two craps about, it's more about the vanity of having it than anything. That's gone too. So all that's gone, all of it. And you know why it is because you know it's because I have God. Because all I have to do is just pray to God that He will help me and lead me to the right people, to make the right connections, to have the right things happen. And as I'm doing this video, I just had another call come in from a client of mine that probably has another deal or something for me going on right now. But that's how it works. It happens. You fall into place with the right situations at the right time with the right people, and things just take care of themselves. And that's what happens when you're a good person and you do the right thing and you treat people honestly and you have integrity, which means doing the right thing even when nobody's looking, instead of stabbing people in the back and talking smack about people and gossiping about people, and kicking people when they're down, and cheering when somebody falls down when they were big time, and they have their problems in life, because everybody has problems. um, but when you do those things, even if you believe in God, there's something called you know karma, which I've already done a post about, but it's more like discipline, from God. And you could be sorry for your sins and sorry for what you did, but you got a price that you're going to have to pay for that, and that's called discipline. It's just like a parent disciplining a child when the child does something wrong. Teenager goes out and gets drunk. What's the discipline? You just let him go out the next night. Nothing happens to him. Well, that sends them a message, doesn't it? You know, versus taking away the car, taking away the phone, taking away, all their stuff, treating them like a stranger, taking the door off their room, whatever. There's all kinds of creative things you can do. But um, my point is that when you have the right mindset and you have God, it's the same thing as having the healing mindset of trying to heal yourself from all your pain and all your struggles, from your anxiety to your depression to your substance abuse to all that stuff. It's the same thing. Only this is a different way of using God, where you're asking for prayers of, abundance and prayers of success, in your professional life, you know, and He will help. He will. You just have to be the good person. You have to follow His directions and guidance and wisdom, which He will show you and He will share with you along the way. But that's where you have to open your eyes and you have to pay attention when He's speaking to you and He's showing you these things. See? But that's where the word faith comes in. It always comes down to faith. It always comes down to, do you believe? At a group that I went to last night, I go to two of them now. I don't know how I got roped into that, but Celebrate Recovery, I go to two different churches now. Um, one of the topics that came up in the group in the small session was that I brought up was that a lot of people in the group were dealing with, they said they were dealing with anxiety and they were dealing with depression, um, and just some mental health problems. And I said to them, I said, well, here's the thing. If you just can sit down and honestly say that I believe in God 100%, 100%, not 99, not 95, 100% of the time, that will take away what's causing your anxiety and your depression. And they looked at me and they were like, what? Are you crazy? You're not a doctor. You're not a psychiatrist. I don't need to be. Because fear is what is controlling you. And fear is what gives you anxiety and gives you depression and makes you have substance abuse and causes you to do all these things. It's fear. Everybody has fear, but they don't. Because if you have God, you don't have fear. And those people are really scary people because they don't have any fear over anything that's done to them, anything that's said to them, anything that's thrown at them. It gives you power. It gives you passion. It gives you drive. It gives you this unstoppable force inside of yourself that literally makes you feel invincible. And I'm convinced that that is the Holy Spirit. And it's because of your faith in God that you get that. So stay tuned. We'll give some updates here and there, the real estate career and how things are going. But just picked up another one. Just picked up another listing for $535 yesterday. While I was on vacation, the phone rang. Yep. No problem. I'm on vacation. Tell the guy, no problem. I'm on vacation. Telling the truth. Can't meet with you. I'm down the beach for 2 weeks. And he waits for me. And I come back. And he met with another agent too. And I didn't take the listing agreement with me to force him to sign it. Get him to sign it. Get him to sign it. Right at the appointment. No. Can't force anybody to do anything. So take a different approach. Be relaxed about it. And what happens? He tells me, if you would have brought that listing appointment or listing agreement, I wouldn't have signed it. But he asked me if I had it because he wanted to see how pushy I was. And I told him I wanted 6%. And he told me I've sold 9 houses in the past couple years and I've never paid 6%. And I'm not going to pay 6%. I'm paying 5%. Will you do it for that? And I said, what would Jesus do? And I said, yep, I'll do it for 5. Because that's a fair rate. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I'm trying to get what I'm worth. And I always try to get what you're worth. And I know I'm worth 6. Because the information I gave him and the money I'm going to get for him and what I'm going to get for his house is going to make me worth 6. But it's okay. I'll do it for 5. So we came to a compromise there. But even so, he interviewed other agents. But he still went with me. And I had on shorts and a short sleeve button-up shirt. Didn't have a suit on. Didn't suit it up with my signature on my sleeve like I'm the shit. Don't need all that. Don't need all that. Something to think about. You are who you are. But when you believe in God, that's the ace, man. That's the ace. I got that appointment through a referral from one of my clients that I sold a house to probably 15 years ago. 15 years ago. I helped their son like 4 or 5 years before now sell his house and move to another house. But I haven't talked to him. I have him on a recipe card list, but I haven't talked to him. I haven't followed up with him. I haven't dropped off what they call pop buys to him every single week. You know, with stupid little scratch off tickets and 4-leaf clover packs and all that. No. I have God. And I pray every day. I don't just say, give me business. That's not what I do. I pray and ask what I can do to help him, help others. Because real estate pays the bills, but I don't feel like it's my job. My job is to serve God. And there's a difference. And when you take it that seriously, you'll see how different your real estate career winds up. Or whatever career you're in. You're here to serve God. And then He will bless you with whatever else you're supposed to do while you're here. So you can live the life you want and have the things you want and need. And even some things you don't need, depending upon how much work you're willing to do for Him. But, so I know we've, once again, gotten a little off topic here, but it does come back to mindset. And it comes back to having a faithful mindset and a serving God mindset. That's what this is all about. That's how I got that client. Because my clients from 15 years ago, I knew them because he was my little league baseball coach. And he is very, very involved with the church that I went to when I was young, that I went to not that much, like Christmas and Easter kind of went to, because that's how my parents were. It was a Christmas and Easter kind of thing. It wasn't like a every week kind of thing like it is for me now. But very involved with the church. And these people that I met with yesterday, they were pretty religious and spiritual, and I could just feel it. I walked in the house and I could just feel it. And you know the other thing is, I knew I had the listing before I even got to the house. And I knew it when I met these people that I had the listing and it was mine. That's the confidence that I had because of my belief in God. Because I knew He was the one that set up the appointment. It wasn't my clients. It was God working through my clients to refer me out to these new people. See how that works? You pray for different things, but that's how it works. That's a blessing. It's not a referral. There's a difference. It's how you look at it. But that's how I look at it. So thanks for taking the time to watch the podcast, and I'll talk to you later.